All righty. There we go. We're recording now. Okay. A little off. I'm in weekend mode.
That's all right. You're way ahead of most of us, Cal.
Yeah. So we are so happy because we have Charlotte Sylvia here. She's a daughter of Melissa Sylvia, who is a kindergarten teacher in Dartmouth, and Jamie Sylvia, who is a history teacher at New Bedford High School. And she is also I call her my niece because her mom is like a sister to me. And we're so excited because we're going to talk with her about how she's doing right now, but also some of the things she's doing to take care of herself and help others. Because when we heard about the stuff she was doing, we were inspired. So we wanted to share that with everybody. In true late fashion, Caroline, we're going to come together with some breaths and centering and bring us to our heart-centered space and spirit of elevate.
Yes, absolutely. So if everyone would like to join us, and Charlotte, you're welcome to do this as well. I just invite you all to close your eyes for just a moment and see if you can bring your awareness, your focus to your breathing. So sort of starting to follow your breath as it moves through the tip of your nose, fills up your lungs and expands your chest and expands your belly. And then see if you can continue to pay attention as it moves in the other direction. So as you exhale, noticing the belly fall, lungs emptying, and out through the tip of the nose. And see now if you can just follow that for a few breaths at your own pace. No need to change or alter the breath in any way, just noticing what it feels like to breathe. Taking one more breath here, staying with the breath as you go in and out. And after you exhale, gently opening your eyes. And welcome back.
Thank you, Caroline. It feels so sweet and comforting. Thank you. What did you think about that, Charlotte?
I liked it. It brought me to a new moment.
That's beautiful. That's so beautiful.
And that's what it does. That's exactly what meditation is designed to do, is kind of bring you right here, right now, whatever moment that you're in. So that's very astute.
So, Charlotte, how, we're in, I don't know what week are we in, stay at home. Week 8 of week 7. Caroline and I are curious, how you're doing. And we wanted to hear the voice of, so we're so happy that you're doing this with us because we wanted to hear the voice of, a young person and how you're doing with all this and staying at home and, having schoolwork, but also being around your family all the time. And we know how much you love them, but it probably can be a little challenging. So can you tell us just how you're doing overall?
I'm doing pretty well. I'm trying to get as much fresh air as I can on like sunny days. I'm taking a lot of bike rides and walks with my family, and I'm getting lots of schoolwork done too.
Oh, good. It sounds like you're trying to keep some balance in there, which is something Caroline and I have been talking about with people for the last few weeks. Now, I know one of the things that I know about you and that I shared with Caroline was that you have a journaling practice. And when you shared that with me a couple of weeks ago, I knew a little bit about that you were doing it, but I didn't know how kind of committed you were to doing it as a daily practice, and the different ways you were doing it. And we were curious about how that started for you. How did journaling come into your life? When did it come into your life? Why? And how does it help you?
Mm-hmm. In about third grade, I think I was having a very hard time with school and stuff, and there was a lot of drama in school. So I know that I started journaling just my thoughts about that day that had gone on every time when I was just sitting up in bed. And it started, once I started journaling, when I journaled, all of what had happened went onto that page. Like, I left it behind me, but it was still on that page. And it's helped me a lot because sometimes I get out of order sometimes, so I always put like thoughts of how my day went, if I completed what I have for a goal of the day, and if I completed the things that I wanted to do that day.
So you feel, Charlotte, like it helps you to sort of organize your thoughts a little bit and process some of the things that you're going through?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
How did you learn about journaling? Was there somebody in school or in your life that kind of gave it to you as a suggestion?
My mom, actually, because my mom would always say that it might feel better to journal because I didn't always like talking about it. So my mom told me to journal, and that might help me so I don't have to talk about it, but it would still be there if I like wanted to go back and see what had happened in the past.
How does that help? Like going back to it and like reflecting on it, going back and reading to it, even maybe, I don't know, like after a month, or if you go back and read something, has something like shifted when you did?
Yeah, I can see how I had been then, and if I'm improving anymore or if I'm doing a little worse. But I try to look if I'm doing better than what I had been doing. So that it definitely is like a part that I like to go back and check what I have been doing to see if I've improved at all.
That's really, really cool, Charlotte. And I heard that you also kind of use your journal for some artistic expression as well. So do you have drawings, or do you have other kinds of art that you do in it?
Sometimes I do some drawings, and I have just one page, and I just journal about like some things I like, some things I miss, and I try to draw that. And other ways, I always put the months that I'm in for every time I start any journaling. So I try to incorporate what would remind me that I'm in May. So I put flowers for this week, and I'm going to put some like bumblebees and stuff like that.
Nice.
That's a great idea. There are a lot of people walking around who don't know what day it is most of the time.
Yeah.
That's what everyone's saying.
Right. What a great way to even tap into your creativity and your expression. Do you have your journal with you? Like, could you just open it and like
So,
a little bit on the screen of what it looks like? Oh, that looks so pretty.
Yeah.
I try to pick like colors that would remind me or just that I'm feeling that day, because I feel different colors every day. So I put all my thoughts right here. I put the things I have to do for that day, and I always put a goal. So sometimes my goal will be to breathe or be the best me that I could be. It's a little reminder to me that I need to sometimes just breathe, and it's gonna be okay. So this is my morning time, and then at night I put the thing that I completed, any feedback. So if I could have done something better, like how would I have done it? I put if my goal has been completed, how I wanted it to be, and then I rate how I had done for that day. and if I try to get everything that I did, and then I put thoughts, and I always put a feeling of the day and weather, and I have a whole feeling chart, and it is right here. I do a bunch of colors, and sometimes I write in those colors, but sometimes I just choose colors that might like just inspire me that day. And this is my April drawing.
Mhm. Nice.
And my May is not very, because sometimes I do forget to bullet journal, but most of the time I do it in the morning, but sometimes I forget the whole time. But I know that I can do it the next day. So this is May.
Oh.
I like what you just said about that. Sometimes maybe we don't get to our journaling, or maybe we don't get to our walk, or we get to our meditation, but you can always get to it the next day. That just like, oh, Charlotte, that was just beautiful.
I also always, at the beginning of each month, I always put the things that I want to do. So I love taking pictures. I want to be a photographer, actually, and I love taking pictures of like nature and stuff. So I always put a bunch of things that I might want to get done for that month, and I always add on through the month to see if there's anything else that I want to do. But I think the best part about journaling is that a lot of people think like, oh, can you show me your journaling? Like, I want to use that. But the best part about it is that you can make it into whatever you want. You can put anything in the pages that you have with you. That's the best part for me.
Right. You can make it your own and make it mean something to you, right? Because everybody's different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's really, really good advice. Really good. And you stay busy too, because you're journaling in general twice a day, and then you're also doing a project with some rocks. I've seen some of them, and we'd love for you to talk a little bit about that.
Mm-hmm. So when I was little, I always used to paint rocks. I would paint them for my dad for Father's Day and my grandparents. So that started when I was very young, and it kept going through about third grade. And then in third grade, I always get an end of the year present for my teacher. And my teacher in third grade was about to move to a new home. And my mom had told me that pineapples were a way of welcoming. And she knew this lady who works with her that painted rocks. So we had pineapples painted on the rocks. And when I brought it to her, because I didn't get to see it because it was already wrapped. But when I brought it to her, I saw it, and that's when I started. I knew I wanted to make my own business, and I love the ocean. So I knew that rocks were a big part of the ocean. But I'm a pretty good drawer because my grandfather, he is a really good drawer, and I know I get it from him. But I had wanted to paint because it makes me really relax when I paint sometimes. And I always, with my rocks, the best thing that I love to do is that sometimes they can be a different shape, and I try to incorporate what I think would be like, bring it to life, and what would be on the rock that would make it look real. So I actually have a few examples, and so I have this one.
Mm-hmm.
Lovely.
And this is not only my business. I do it with some of my friends, and so we like to put some words on some of the rocks. And so this one says "Somewhere Over the Rainbow." We make door stoppers basically. So instead of because we like to make small rocks, but a lot of people we notice that always use big rocks for door stoppers. So we didn't want them to be just blah if someone wanted one. We wanted to make it like very nice. My friend Sydney did this one.
Look at that. That's cute.
We always do these challenges, and we put 3 colors on, like we always have paint and we put 3 colors, and that's one of the way that motivates us to do rocks, because we put 3 colors out. We use these paint pens, and we always put these on, and when we're done, we show each other the finishing product, and we try to see if they match up and if we did like the same design. We have this one.
Ooh, look at that. That's lovely.
Yeah.
And
so
Go ahead, Caroline.
You put a lot of sort of inspirational words and phrases on your rocks, right? I know some of the ones that I've seen.
One here.
What's that second?
Love.
Love, yeah. And there's a real feeling when you look at your rocks. So some of them I haven't been able to see because on Zoom what they say, but I know that most of them have words like that. So have you gotten a response from other people about how it might help inspire them or make them feel comforted or loved?
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why we like to do them, because we know that not a lot of people like designs, but we wanted to put some words because we know that always makes people feel better. And so we try to put like some phrases, some words, and then sometimes we even just put a design trying to show what it means. And so like this one, we tried to make it like relaxing.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of putting words, sometimes we like to bring it to life more. And then we also go to Cape Cod every year. So we like to make some for Cape Cod because it's a big part of our lives, because we get to spend time with our friends and family. And it's one of my favorite times of the year to go to Cape Cod and be with my family, but also being with other people's family. I think that's the best part. So.
You know, we have to wrap up soon because like we had talked about, this just goes by like so fast. But Charlotte, one of the things, Caroline, I don't know if you've heard this theme too, you have such intention about what you're doing, and that intention shows in that it comes from your heart in your journaling and your rocks. I just wanted to because I know that we talked about this, before. And I think you had another goal you had about your business was about raising money.
Yeah, so every year once we make money, we try to get a portion of it and give it to like some company or something. So at first we wanted to do Boston Children's, but then it's not very local to us. So we wanted to do something more local. So we chose the Humane Society. And we're giving $100 to them to help, because my dog actually came from there. We got my dog from there, and that was my first dog. So we wanted to give $100 to the Humane Society. And then sometimes we will keep some of it to get supplies for us, because we can run out of supplies very quickly with making a lot of rocks. So we try to give most of it to somewhere, but then we keep some of it just to get some supplies for us.
Wow. Oh, I know my day's complete. I don't know about yours, Caroline.
This conversation doesn't make your heart burst. I don't know what will. Charlotte, you're remarkable. You really are. And I think you're an inspiration to other kids, but also to adults. I mean, you're inspiring me for sure. And I think it's really special, all of the thought and love that you put into the things that you're doing. And like Kelly said, intention. I think that was a great way to summarize our conversation.
Yeah. And we both just want to thank you, Charlotte, from the bottom of our hearts for doing this and joining us today on the weekend. And I feel like it just was good timing, perfect timing for the weekend. And I want to commend you on not only all that you're doing, but the courage, because it's not easy to come and do this and know that you're going to be live on Facebook. So and I can speak, I think, for both of us, that we appreciate your courage in doing this with us. Excuse me. So, yeah, thank you. And, thank you everybody who has been watching our conversations, who's with us today, or who's gone back to watch them. And, this is a heart conversation. It's a gift from our hearts to yours. So stay tuned for what's next. Right, Caroline?
Thank you, Charlotte, very, very much. It's been a joy talking to you. It really, really has. And everyone have a lovely day and a lovely weekend. And we'll be back next week. And until then, we're sending you lots of love.
Yeah, enjoy the sunshine. Bye, Charlotte. Bye, Caroline.
Bye.
We're not live anymore. Charlotte, oh my God, I have to.
You want to stop the recording real quick?
Oh, yeah. Thank you.